Hey guys, and welcome back to the channel. It's the end of 2023, and we thought it would be a great idea to discuss this past year. And to relive all the highs and lows of 2023, we have with us our founder, Mukul Sharma. Mukul, welcome to the show, and are you ready to go through this emotional roller coaster?
Hello. Yes, I know what's coming already.
I think clearly everybody is over anything that's happened in this year. So I think it's just going to be a very normal civil discussion. And yeah, I think 2023 has been a very eventful year, especially when it comes to cricket. Uh, we had the World Cup, we had the IPL, we had the WTC. Lots happened. First and foremost, I think we do have to speak about the king, not King Bobsy, but King Kohli. Lots of records for him. Scored his 50th century at Wankhede in front of Sachin. Great occasion, scoring it in the semifinals. What do you make of his year as a cricketer?
I think absolutely phenomenal. Like, still, just leave the World Cup. Just yesterday, when like South Africa India was test match was going on,
Right.
it again it felt like I was thinking what Kohli must be thinking inside his head. He's like every time it's still like comes to me, like it comes
Yeah.
down to me. There on Twitter there was this meme of the Mal movie, like I don't know how come I come in front in these situations automatically if I
Right.
translate to English. That's exactly what happens with Kohli, I think. He's
Right.
always been the one, like you when you see the match, always still you are thinking at least Kohli is still out there. So that man is still standing between so many cricket fans and their hope of stop watching cricket, and that includes me as well, to be
Yeah.
honest with you.
Yeah.
The only reason I'm still watching cricket even a little bit is because of Virat Kohli. Once he retires, I am not sure India has a next person available who will pull the crowds.
Right.
So yes, absolutely, like absolute legend of the game, especially in ODIs, if you say.
Just to double down on what you said, do you expect a decline now? Maybe let's say after Kohli retires in a couple of years, do you expect a decline in terms of quality, viewership, all those things?
I think that happened with Sachin as well. I can speak for myself. When Sachin retired, I was in the US. I completely stopped watching cricket for a few
Right.
years. Completely. And then there was this Hobart match where Kohli scored like crazy runs, and I think he won against Sri Lanka. That
Right.
match was the match I saw the last few overs when he was batting like an absolute maniac. And then
Right.
I was again pulled into cricket that there is one more person for which you can see. Slowly, then to 2015 World Cup happened. I saw a little bit, and then again Australia made us lose, made us cry, but that's
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah. We'll get
Then,
to
but
that.
at least I started watching
Yeah,
it.
we'll get.
At least
I
I
think
started
so.
watching it.
You're right. I think post Sachin, it's been Kohli, and then you had Dhoni as well. You had a few stars who pulled us in and made us watch the game consistently. So I'm not sure if that is the case in the future as well. You do have potential there, and when it comes to Gill or maybe like Yashasvi in in later future, you don't never know. But yeah, as of now, things do seem a little thin at the moment. Let's stick to happy things for now. I think we'll get to the other stuff later. India won the Asia Cup 2023 with, I would say, relative ease. I think we expected India to be the favorites, but we never expected what we saw in the final against Sri Lanka at that point of time.
Yes, I didn't expect India to be here, to be honest with you, because if you see just before the Asia Cup, the players who were playing in Indian team, they were not in form. Look at Rohit Sharma, Mohammad
Mm.
Siraj. Like IPL happened, I think just before that, or a few series. I think we lost the series to Australia at home in ODIs. We lost the WTC. Like the form was not good of like Indian players, except for Virat Kohli again and maybe
Yeah.
Bumrah, and he was injured. So the team was in shambles, but they just came together like crazy. That was surprising to me. I didn't expect them to win, to be honest. Last time Sri Lanka won the T20 Cup, so I
Right.
thought Sri Lanka maybe surprise us or maybe Pakistan. But
Mm.
yeah, India won very comprehensively, and that was
Yeah.
a good surprise, to be honest.
Yeah. It felt more like a gully cricket game rather than a international game.
Yes, yes, exactly.
Okay, let's shift our focus now domestically. Lots happening domestically in India. The IPL happened. Chennai obviously won dramatically again in the end, thanks to Jadeja. What do you make of Dhoni's present, and what do you make of Dhoni's future?
Only Dhoni knows his future, to be honest. Every time he comes, he's like, everyone thinks, at least this time, it was like it's his last IPL. But then
Right,
he said that I see, and he's playing, definitely playing this year. Who knows, maybe next year also. And especially with the substitute like impact player sub, I
yeah,
think there is a lot of scope of him playing for a few more years easily, because all he has to do is to keep a little bit, and then he has to bat a lower down the order. And
right,
it's not his batting by a long time since last couple of years which is making Chennai win the matches, to be
right,
honest with you. He doesn't have the same batting skills or quality or whatever you say, like, flexibility in the body anymore. But his mind is what is making CSK win, and that's what they need, obviously.
mm,
So we don't know. At least this year he's playing. Maybe next year more. We don't. We are not sure. IPL is has gained. He's become a lot more popular in the last, especially this year. I saw even it when the match was in Jaipur.
right.
People there were more supporters of Dhoni than Rajasthan Royals. So there might be a hint of even the IPL organizers or BCCI not letting him go. That
Yeah,
even if you have to play a few matches, you stick around and you play, because there is popularity among IPL because of Dhoni. So
right. So yeah, let's see
that's
how long IPL can milk Dhoni and his brand value.
yeah.
We'll see. Speaking of IPL, I think women's IPL also kicked off in 2023. I think a defining moment for women's cricket. And that's now, I think, given birth to a lot of other, I think, women leagues as well. And then participation, I think, down under in Australia as well. I believe you have women's domestic league starting. So, what do you make of that? And where do you see it? How do you see it helping women's cricket in the near future?
It was long pending, I think.
Yeah,
Women's IPL, I thought should have started at least a few years ago, if not now. But anyways, it's here now. I strongly believe couple of years down the line, it will be as like schedule wise, it will be as big as like normal IPL.
yeah,
There will be more players. The purse size will increase. There will be more teams. I've already said about more teams. I think eventually
right,
in 4 5 years. So few years down the line, I think it will be very popular. So it's just increasing, and for us, it's obviously good. Like more cricket is always good for us, but
right,
also for the like females in the country,
right,
like getting into sports. This is the huge opportunity. I remember when this happened. RCB organized a club which was an open open camp, I think, which had like if you bowl like 120 kilometers per hour, which is like good enough speeds for women.
yeah,
It was an open camp. You come and you bowl, and if we like you are directly. Imagine how big of an opportunity that is. You go
right,
into one camp, you bowl 120. If you bowl a few overs, and if they like you, are directly into IPL. And if you are into IPL, your life is like already set. To be honest with you,
yeah.
who knows, next year you are playing into India. So
Yeah.
that's a huge jump. So, and a huge
Yeah, I was
opportunity also, which
watching
is good.
this video just the other day where there was this interview, somebody from the Indian cricket background. He said that what IPL does is create an environment for people. And let's say if you were part of Rajasthan Royals, initial seasons, you would be coached by Kumar Sangakkara and your captain would be Shane Warne. So that creates that environment for a young player to grow and get nurtured by these international legends. So I think in that sense, women's cricket and women's IPL could benefit these grassroots level players, and you could expect storylines like what we've seen with Rinku Singh and his rise now from IPL to the Indian
Yes.
team, and someone like even maybe
Yes.
Tilak Verma, who's uh, good players who might not have got these opportunities otherwise if it was not for the IPL. And speaking of IPL, obviously the men's IPL, the prizes keep on hitting crazy numbers. You had Sam Curran last year, but now it's the Australian bowlers who've taken over considerably and very clearly. And I think maybe in a few years, who knows that the professions would be my son will become a doctor, engineer, or an Australian fast bowler. So I think Pat Cummins 20.5 crore and Mitchell Stark 24.75. What do you make of these prices? Do you think are they justified by any measure?
I don't think it's justified. I think it reflects more than what the worth of a player. Then more than that, it reflects the shortage of players.
Yeah,
So I don't think I remember when last year, I think 2 years ago, when the team size were increased, two more teams were introduced, GT and LSG,
yeah,
Harsha Vogle, and there were a few others. When the mega auction happened, there was shortage of players. So it was clearly obvious that the IPL, the World Cricket was not ready to have 10 teams in the IPL, because there was still a lack of quality players where team can pick from.
yeah,
And that's why I think that is also one of the reasons they've increased the purse size, I think, by 5 crore this year, so that
yeah,
like you can spend more to buy. Mitchell Stark by any means is not justified at 25. If I'm being honest, I think at max, at current level of prices, he should be like 8 to 10 cr, and that's it. And that's a lot, to be honest.
yeah.
That's not a small amount of money, but I think because the prices are so high and there's shortage of player, there's so much competition, he would get like 8 to 10 cr, obviously.
Right.
But more than that, I don't think he's, if you ask me, he's like a probably 3 to 5 crore buy, which
Yeah,
justifies his
I
worth.
think anyway the prices I feel were inflated by obviously lack of fast bowlers and teams wanting and needing those fast bowlers. So the biddings were higher.
You
Uh,
know what they did, which this there was one article which I read about Australia, because Australians are obviously very smart. They
yeah,
purposefully, they said they did not participate in the mega auction because there would be too much competition. They go into these small auctions because there are limited options available and the purse size is more, so
right,
that they'll get more money. Pat
right,
Cummins, I can think of getting like 20 crores. That's fine. I think he got 2 years ago also, he got like 15. He was again the highest player because Pat Cummins can bat. He has like a fastest or second or third fastest 50 from
yeah. And I
KKR
think
in IPL,
Sunrisers
I think.
bid more for him, maybe from a captaincy point of view as well. They wanted a captain,
Yes,
and they might be
yes.
looking.
So Pat Cummins is maybe justified by like a 20 crore because he can bat. He can score like 50, 40 runs quickly if you want sometimes. And
Right.
obviously bowling wise, he's very good.
Yeah.
But Mitchell Stark is not worth 24, not by any chance.
Yeah. So I think the market in itself obviously is inflated because supply and demand. But also you've seen a lot of steals going. Somebody like Rachan Ravindra, I expected him personally to uh, have a crazy bidding war between teams, but I feel he went for considerably low, and he's an absolute steal. Somebody like a Daryl Mitchell also, I think he's fetched a good amount. I think he's the right player. That's the kind of player that you would want to target in an auction for IPL. So I think lots of interesting uh, pricings and biddings happening in the auction, which I think we'll discuss in a separate video. But for now, I think Mukul, I'm sorry, we do have to discuss this. What are your thoughts? I mean, I think Australia were just being Australia at the end of it, starting losing the first two matches, and everybody thought that Australia is done for and they're done and dusted, and there's not going to be a comeback, and they just casually went on to win the next eight, and then I think including the semifinals and the final as well. So, what do you make of
Yes.
the tournament?
You never write Australia off. That's what we have learned from like since we were a kid. So and also Australia and New Zealand, I think, are very gutsy teams. It's like a profession. So one of the thing which I think I don't know if I mentioned in previous videos also, they are not superstars there. These
Yeah.
people. So like they can normally spend their day to day going outside, or
I
they
saw that
have
Pat
like
Cummins video of him arriving in Australia after winning the
yeah,
World Cup, and they were
yeah,
like,
there's like five people there.
yeah,
Exactly. Also, I think I saw about Daryl Mitchell. Daryl Mitchell was a women's rugby coach, I think, or a men's rugby coach when he's not doing. So it's like a job for him. Tra-
yeah,
uh, Head, not Travis Head. This Matthew Wade was a carpenter, I think, when in off season. So these people are, it's food and like livelihood for them. So
yeah,
I'm not saying our people don't try hard enough. They obviously give their everything, especially in this World Cup. But for us, it's like I honestly believe if it was a more like a Rinku Singh or some like people who have everything to give up for this cricket,
yeah.
and then they
Absolutely.
are not that superstar, so they are not under that pressure. I think they would be more easy to win in these crunch matches. I think that's what I feel,
Do you
because
think that's what happened in the final? Maybe the pressure got to India of just being,
yes, because there were so many people, and I think everybody was like, you have to win this match, and they ultimately lost because of that.
Right.
If you The last World Cup which we won comprehensively was like the T20 World Cup was a surprise, and
Yeah.
that happened because they were a team of nobodies. Nobody knew. Dhoni took like all the superstars. He left Sachin, Ganguly, everybody was like, "You are not going." He just picked a young team who knew nothing, and he won a World Cup from them because there was no pressure, nothing. 2011 also, because the team was, at least they were like, it was in India first of all, which is a huge benefit,
Yeah.
and then obviously Dhoni and everybody, and the surprisingly the second team was not Australia, so
Yeah.
we won like, it was Sri Lanka.
Yeah.
But we beat Australia in quarterfinals.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, I mean, Australians do their homework really well. They give everything to the match. There were many things which happened because of which we lost. The pitch analysis went wrong. The
Yeah.
toss we lost. The aggressiveness of few players, and then non-aggressiveness of few players, and then Travis Head's luck, like, so a lot of these things made us lose.
Yeah.
What can you say?
Yeah, and I think what you said about planning, maybe that is down to a lot of the captaincy in Pat Cummins. Obviously, they won the World Cup and they won the Test Championship, and he's got a 20 crore contract from us after beating us in the final. What do you make of Pat
Yes.
Cummins as a captain and what he's done since he's become captain?
His,
Cash
I
is
think his coaching staff is more to be given credit to. I don't rate Pat Cummins a very high as a captain himself, but their coaching staff and their analysis, their back team, I think, is what really is the strong pillar behind Australia's success.
right.
They did their homework on Shubman Gill. They did their homework on Shreyas Iyer. They did their homework on Rohit Sharma. You can see, if you like, I see a lot of videos on Twitter, so you
Mm,
see they have been getting outs like that previously also, and they did exactly that. So it's very, very good to do these kind of homework and then follow them to the line, obviously.
mm,
So I think that's what they did good for World Test Championship. I think it's quite unfair, for to be honest, for any team,
yeah,
because it only happens in England. So
right.
I don't think like that's the right way. So I think if we are going into the final, at least there should be like maybe a toss or something, where like any of the host countries which are playing, they should play at like each other's country, or like, at least their destination. At least somebody should have an advantage. Why are you only playing in England?
Yeah,
If you play in India, like if the last test match should have, or even the New Zealand one where India went to the finals, if they happened in India, I think at least out, if not both of them, at least one India would have won.
yeah,
But they both happened in England, and England pitches are more favorable to Australia, New Zealand as
Australia.
compared to India. So yeah,
Mm,
if it was like India, Sri Lanka in England, that's fine. So that's just our luck. So that's just bad planning or bad. I don't know whatever you can say. So
mm.
WTC is fine, but World Cup loss is like really hard to swallow.
Okay, let's just call it an off day and let's not talk about it ever again and let's leave it in 2023. And
Yeah.
this has been our year in review, guys. Obviously, a lot of happy moments followed by I don't know, maybe just one sad moment. But a lot of promise and hope for the upcoming year. Lots to look forward to when it comes to cricket. And for all you Gully Cricket users, we have the IPL obviously coming in and the T20 World Cup. Lots of cash prizes to be won. And thank you for joining, guys. And do check out our Gully Cricket app for a lot of fun events and a lot of cash prizes. You can join the Discord communities as well. Do not forget to subscribe to the channel, and we will see you for the next one. Thanks. Happy
Yep.
New Year.
Take care. Bye.